All right, it's time for another What Do I Ride? And this is going to be the unabridged version. We're going to go through some of the backlog, some of the collection, some of the things I've got on ice. Over here is everything that I am currently riding, currently in the rotation. But we'll start with the history. So over there is not really history. We've got the Coltrada Pro. I was very lucky to have won that at the Medusa Death Race in West Lafayette, Indiana. You can see I'm planning on setting it up with Savants, but if you look really closely, you won't see any hardware. That's because I don't have any grip tape for this board yet. Should be coming in later in this week. I'm eager to start riding that. Of course, big old single kick. Who wouldn't love it? I'm pumped, and I will be making a review on it, so you can look forward to that. Next to it is the Yachts Switchblade Holotech. I believe this one is from 2017. I could be mistaken, but this board was a local find. Local deal. I picked it up. Eventually it's going to go to a new home, somebody who, needs it more than I do. But in the meantime, I've been putting it off for a long time, but I would love to do a video comparing kind of old school setup, what was used to be the most common setup you'd see, down to something pretty new school. I'm thinking comparing it to something over there. I'm not really sure, but I think it would be pretty neat to compare the two and just give my thoughts. You'll recognize the Madrid Nessie in my last one. This was all set up. This was my downhill board, but we've moved on from there. That board was really awesome. I absolutely loved it, but it does belong as a free ride board, and I was using it for downhill. This board's just not rigid enough for downhill, especially after I abused it for a year and a half. It lost its rigidity and was no longer good. This is the first good top mount longboard I actually own. This is the Bustin Will Royce Pro model. I really wish they still made these. I miss them so much because this board was immense. It had pop like nothing else. It was so good and fun and easy. It had such a good tight low wheelbase you could set it up. I loved ripping around campus my freshman year on that board. You can see I've got two of them. The one on the right was the one I originally bought. However, it had some issues. The concave was asymmetrical on it, meaning under my toes, the concave was well over an inch tall, and under my heels, I had nothing. So pointed out some of these flaws to Bustin, and they sent me the second one. Very kind of them. You can see my Marble 40, big old 40-inch double kick board. This one was retired as of today. It might be seeing some trucks again because I'm gonna have to make a review of the replacement. However, this one treated me well. You can see I used and abused it. It's brown, it's yellowed. It's got that dirt and UV kind of off-white color. And this saw so much action. You see a lot of scrapes, some board slides, some failed 50-50s. I've been abusing this board a lot lately, and it's really impressed me with how well it's withstood. I'm not actually at a point where I think this board should be retired. I could still ride it very comfortably for a while, but it was time to move on. This board has kind of had an appropriate ending, especially because Zenit sent me that one. Over here we can see some boards that will not be seeing the light of day under my feet, but hopefully I can stoke out somebody new in the community, somebody who's looking to learn and get them riding for the first time on some equipment. This is from Dave from Based Boards, and this one's just a local college student clearing house, just knew I was a longboarder and passed it my way. Neither of these boards, like I said, are going to be seeing any time from me, but for what it's worth, hopefully I can get them in the hands of people who are gonna love them as a first setup. Down here are two Popsicle Boards, two street decks, two setups that I used and abused before I learned about that one over there. These both failed in the same way. They cracked along this line through the rear mounting holes. You can't see it in the bottom ply, but the top few plies have split, and then that tail sitting on it, popping with it, just makes it just feels like a rubber band. That was how both of those ended their lives with me. They're pretty good, but I realized that this big 9-inch double kick was a great fit for me, much better than these. And let me remind you, I'm 6'7" tall. So this feels what I imagine a regular skateboard feels like on any other person. This board is very interesting. This was the prize for the Goose Chase Challenge. This is one of the giveaways. I apparently did a good enough goose impression that I won the heart of the CEO of Goose Chase, who used to build these. I wish I could set it up because it seems like a really awesome, rigid fork through, but it is miserably warped. It is so terribly warped, and it just, I have no need to ride a board like that. I can't imagine that it would be very pleasant. The video is not doing it justice. This board is really miserable, and it's kind of just a trophy more than anything. Over here we got the faceplant board riders hand plane. This is for body surfing. I don't do that. I live where I live. And so maybe I'll get that in the water one day. But on to the things that are actually active, things that are in rotation. Let's talk about it. This board has not changed since last time. It's my Arizona T branded cruiser, actually officially branded from the Arizona T company. This is probably my favorite thing to ride. It's so fun. I don't want to change this setup one bit. It's my go-to grocery getter. The one over here, I explained this pretty well in the last one. It is almost unchanged, but you'll see that I have these seismic ripplers, the 59mm mini hotspots on this board. And I've been enjoying the improvement, the upgrade. I'm planning on making a surf skate based review on these wheels. I will not be participating in some downhill slides on them. These are a wheel I want to have for a long time, not a short and good time. And yeah, so sorry downhill free riders, I'm not going to be telling you how these are, but I don't think these were really high up on your list of wheels to try anyway. Over here is a board that y'all may not be familiar with. This is not mine, it belongs to my friend Daniel. And this is his Pavel Slalom board. You can see these look very similar to my trucks. However, this is the Slalom version. You can see in the pivot is some sort of spherical bearing or bearing surface. And you'll find a spherical bearing also lodged in between the bushings there. And that's just pretty on par with most slalom setups. They use the spherical bearings for that ultimate precision and the least loss of energy in the deformation of an insert bushing that you'd get with most downhill slalom trucks. This is a true slalom setup, not meant to see a hill for sliding, just to see a hill for cones. Again, not mine, borrowed from a friend. All right, I believe I had this board in the last one. There's nothing really to report on it other than it's really big. It's 9 inches long. It's about 3 inches longer in the wheelbase and the overall width. And as a result, it fits me really well. I've never felt more comfortable on a double kick board. Over here we have the Zenit Marble 40, the V3. This is the double kick. It's the same board as the one you see over there, except it's one generation newer. You can see they added wheel wells, they added multiple wheelbases. Goes from about 25.5 to 22.5, whereas this is only limited at 25.5 to 24.5. And I've got on the new Caliber 3. Right now I have the 50-degree rakeless, 10 inches wide. I know 9 inches would fit this board a little better, but I don't have any of that on hand. Very kindly, Caliber sent us a bunch of trucks for a really cool analysis video I plan on doing. I'm working really hard on figuring out the best way to capture all the unique features of these trucks. It's not going to be an advertisement per se. It's really just going to break down what is rake versus rakeless. Why would you choose one or another? 50-degree versus 44, 10 inches versus 9 inches. Again, I have to source a 9-inch hanger, but you get the point. We're going to have some really analytical comparisons between all the options on these trucks. I'm very excited for Caliber's collaboration in that. Additionally, Zenit wanted to collaborate too. They wanted to give me a board to review, not necessarily review, but analyze all the new Caliber trucks on, and then also update my Marble 40 review at the end of it. And this board has been such a privilege to ride. I feel very privileged owning it, and I'm excited to share some of my learnings with you. Right now I have it set up on the Quay Flothane Killers. These are the free killers. You can see they've got a bevel. They're not sharp lipped like the other Quay products that you may have seen. And we're on the Don't Trip Downhill Sybins. These go from 110 mil to 128. They're spaceable, they have adjustable base plates, and right now I'm sitting at 5320 is my degree split front to rear. I've been riding 50-25 for a long time, even a little bit of 45-25, but I really wanted a setup that's pumpable, one that I can pump using the techniques I've learned in slalom, and having those other angle combinations weren't the best. One thing I have to say about all of these products, all this gear you see in front of you, this is not an endorsement for any brand. This is not an endorsement for anything I ride. I'm learning just as much about gear as you are, and all this stuff you see in front of me is part of that journey. I am not an expert. I am not riding the exact right perfect things for me, nor am I riding the exact right perfect things for you. We're all on this gear journey together, and here's what mine looks like as of November 7th, 2021. Thank you so much for watching. I'm out of breath as always with these. This is a lot of talking, and I don't get to adequately oxygenate my blood. So yeah, hope you enjoyed the video. I'm excited to get more videos in your hands, some more reviews. We didn't go through my wheel collection here because that would have taken way too much time. And there's some things that I still want to keep secret from y'all, some reviews I'm working on. Appreciate you. Bye-bye.